So, Craig and Mark,
Okay.
welcome to this year's Road to Fright Fest. Obviously, we're here to talk about the Arbiter. You've both had films play at Fright Fest in the past. So, how are you feeling about taking this film there, and what is it about Fright Fest that makes it the perfect platform to kind of launch the film?
Well, Craig, you go first, and I'll rip off your answer, and I'll
Okay.
rephrase it slightly. So,
Well, the answer I'll give is the answer I give to anyone who asks me about Fright Fest. In my opinion, if you make a genre movie and you're lucky enough, and I mean that when I say you're lucky enough to get in, because as you know, Kat, as you know, Mark, people from all over the world send their films into Fright Fest. It is one of the biggest and most popular genre festivals on the planet. Simple as that. The fact that it's in the heart of London's West End, in Leicester Square, that you get a West End premiere, all of that stuff is brilliant. But you're taking your film, which you know has been selected for all the right reasons, to a place where there's a loyal fan base of genre movie dudes and dudettes ready and waiting to see it. They are, of course, some of them, some of them are extremely critical about what they see. Many of them are just there to enjoy the festival. But regardless of that, the atmosphere around it is brilliant. You get amazing press coverage. You get to see your film on a massive screen, and then people talk about it. And if you're lucky enough to be there with a decent film, which I think with The Arbiter we are, um, good things, as we both know, really can then follow. So it's wonderful. I'm chuffed and proud of Mark for getting another film into the festival.
for me, it was the first festival I think I've ever been in. Back in 2009, I had a film called Colin, and Fright Fest said yes before any of the press had happened. They said, "Yeah, we want to support a film like this." And yeah, agreed to screen the film. Then we went to Cannes and got all this kind of crazy press for a cheap little zombie film we made. But yeah, so there's something quite exciting to be back in the festival. This time, like just I don't know, because with Dune Drifter, I would have loved to have seen that film with an audience, but that was during COVID,
Oh,
so that was the
COVID, yeah.
sort of it was an online sort of screening, so that was lovely because you still get that sort of feedback, and you're able to pick out what moments land the way you hope through the repetition of the feedback of those particular moments. But there's nothing quite like hearing an audience respond to it, which I have had that experience with the cast and crew and industry screening, Craig, and I kind of can't wait to see you experience that because you get some fucking laughs, mate.
As long as they're meant to be laughs, that's
Definitely, yeah, good. If they weren't, I'd be panicking. I'd be like, "Hey, yeah, it's cool." Yeah, it would be kind of a disaster. But no, no, it's good. Good
I
laughs,
can't
all the
wait.
right
I
places.
can't wait.
And how did the idea come together?
Um, Initially, I got locked. There's one of the cast members in the film, Alistair Curtin. I was looking after his cat, and I got locked outside. I went to get a pizza. I locked myself out, and his cat was hungry, whilst I had to find a place to go from one end of London to another. Now, I'd been making a short film with Rob Savage, and he stupidly cast me as a zombie for some reason. So I was kind of dressed as a zombie, getting a pizza before I jumped in the shower, and then I looked like a fucking zombie with a pizza box running across London, trying to with my phone that had run out of battery, just trying to
Oh
get
God.
just trying to get somewhere to sleep. So I went to a guy we set on fire this film, Dave Nolan. He was in bed. I went to another friend who isn't in this film, and I was fine. And on the way, I got these suspicious looks because I was so busy stressing, I completely forgot that I looked like a zombie. And I was not a convincing one, but zombie enough that I looked like I was in some sort of gang. And I thought, oh man, what if I got caught up in some incident with, like, I don't know, a mime gang or some shit. This is a terrible way of telling this story, but basically the gist of it was I was traveling through London looking for a place to sleep and thought, yeah, gang war, but a fun gang would be an interesting premise for a film. I'm gonna have to work on that story. It's the first time I've told that.
Yes, I think
Oh,
yes, clearly. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. That's a great story because I didn't realize that. That's brilliant. I did
oh
not
yeah, I
know
should have
that.
just said,
Yeah,
oh yeah, it came to me and I wrote it. No, I got
came
locked
to me
out and
in
there's a
a
really
fever dream.
Did you get locked out, or did the cat kick you out?
uh You know what? It might have been a Flintstone situation where that cat kicked my ass out, but the joke's on him. He didn't get to eat until the morning. So, her. Sorry, I know that it's Al's cat. I know Al's cat. He's not going to watch this. It's fine.
We
And
hope.
Craig, for you, what was it about, this project and this character that made you want to get involved?
Uh, well, firstly, if Mark said to me, I want to film you reading the phone book," I would say, "Yes, please," because he is one of my favorite people to work with. And we've done loads. In fact, myself and James Groom, who's also in the Arbiter, we had a mark off on when we were on set one day where we were trying to see who'd worked with Mark the most. And I think it was something like we by the end of the day we'd both done, I can't remember what the numbers were, but we were equal, we were level. And then I was on my way home, driving home after the or heading back to my digs after we'd wrapped, and I remembered one more thing. And I remember texting him going, "I beat you." So I think I've worked with Mark a, loads of, I want to say between, I can't remember, between 10 and 15 times on different things, short
Yeah.
films, feature films, online content, yeah, all manner of stuff. He's filmed me once. I did a multimedia play that he filmed the media side of it for. It was years ago in Swansea. We've done loads together. I'm in Colin, the first film that screened at FrightFest. I'm in the second film we did, Magpie, and then loads of others beside. And it's always the best fun because
You guys are in two that I directed under a pseudonym as a favor to someone.
exactly.
Don't talk with those.
Okay, and and so it's always the best fun working with Mark. The characters are always brilliant, brilliantly unique. You get to do stuff in a film with Marc Price that you probably won't get the chance to do elsewhere. And it's great. And working with Mike, he's one of my best friends, because of all the time we
Oh,
spent together working. So it's just a pleasure. And then add into the fact that into the mix that the script was so interesting and the character was so unique to me. And in fact, the last time we spoke, Kat, was about Protein, which a film that I was in that premiered at Fright Fest last year, where, as you know, I barely say a word in it, and I'm very quiet and I keep myself to myself, despite all the awful things that go on. In this film, Mark gave me all this fantastic stuff to get to do, and all this amazing dialogue, I should say, and as well as these incredible fight scenes. And I got to act alongside some people I've admired and loved for years and worked with often. So it was a complete package. It was, for me, it was the complete package.
Yes.
oh, mate, you're such a gent.
Shut your face.
And Mark, you're probably best known to the Fright Fest crowd for, making Colin, which I think is, the most shoestring feature budget probably of all time.
Ever. Yeah.
I'm hoping that you had a little bit more money this time. And how did your time on Colin, how has that kind of influenced, working with budgets since?
I don't think it's changed a great deal because even with the budgets, that sort of becomes payroll. So the what I hope comes across as resourcefulness is still the thing where we have to kind of cobble stuff together with what we can find, so that but with a little bit more with less pressure because people are on the payroll this time. We're not asking for people's time. We're hopefully compensating it and yeah, so I think, but a lot like Colin, I really enjoy doing this stuff. I absolutely love it, and every single film to me feels like it's the first film, like it's the first opportunity I'll ever have to tell a story. It just feels like a new beginning every single time because the way I think of it is that the film, and I say this to young filmmakers, the filmmaker you are at the start of a project is much more advanced by the end of that project, whether the film worked out the way you wanted to or not. And I think that's kind of how I feel. So at the end of every project, I feel right now I feel like I might be a better filmmaker, and I want to make the next one, and it just keeps going like that. And so with this, I just again, it's just getting the best people I know together with the best chemistry, and just giving them a script and say that's our starting point. Let's see what we can do to elevate it and make something even better than what's on the page. And yeah, and in terms of performances, I think, and what the fight guys did, and the cinematography, everything, I couldn't be happier with everyone's work. I just hope my choices were the right ones to make it entertaining for other people. Because I really love watching it.
And can I just add to that, having worked on Colin, that, and some of your viewers will know this, was made famously for just £45. And then I worked on so many of his films where the budgets have got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. The environment and the fun and the way of working is still the same as it was on Colin. And it's all about working as a team to find the best solution to something. And that's why it's so great.
Yeah, did
Yeah.
no, thanks, buddy. Thanks, everyone. This is really nice.
Yeah,
And
wait till
Craig,
you end the chat and then we just me and Cat talk.
Fuck, thank
And
God he's
then
gone.
yeah, sorry, Cat.
Craig, your character is kind of the middleman before between all of these warring factions. If you had to pick one to be a part of, say to get recast, which one would you choose? Because I think they're all
Oh,
great. They're all
yeah.
great kind of
Now I
fantastic
really
tropes.
Yeah, I really like watching the seeing what the girls do on the roller skates because I think that's really good fun. However, I remember one year for Christmas, my mother bought me and my sisters roller skates, and my mother had a pair as well, and I was the only one. I couldn't do them. I couldn't do it. I even look. I just looking at them made me fall over. So, so I would if I could join their gang because they were a good laugh as well to hang out with, but I was allowed to just go on foot. It would be them because they got cool weapons and they got. And I said, "Can I just have blades in my shoes instead?" And if they'd let me, then their gang, I'd join their gang. Yeah.
Mate, you could be on Heelys, so it's like trainers and
No, I'd
wheels,
be no
and you
good on
can.
those either. No, I'd be useless. At best, a skateboard. Ooh, yeah. There we are.
I
There's your
can
sequel.
Ninja Turtles. That's it. Yeah, the skateboards.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, yeah, definitely them. Yeah.
I mean, same question to you, Mark. If which was kind of
Ooh.
your favorite group to sort of to bring to life?
I just gorge myself on all the ice cream. In fact, one of the things I insisted on was, oh, the ice cream, it needs to work. There's a shot in the script where we pull an ice cream, he needs to do it. And of course, yeah, that fucking thing didn't work. So in the film, you see Rich Sandling, who was like our bad guy in Night Shooters. He's trying to pull the ice cream out, and it's just spitting the cone out of his hand. And bless him, the guy did such a good job. He acted through it, and then came up with some really funny improvised dialogue. But I wanted to have loads of ice cream. That's what I really wanted. I couldn't wait to shoot that day. And the ice cream we had was gone off. The ice cream thing didn't work. The whippy thing was good. It was a fucking disaster. But the scene was fine. I guess the rest of the whatever the rest we had to be there for. I wanted ice cream, but nah, it was great. That would definitely be my gang.
I mean, there's ice cream at the Odeon. You can get some ice cream on the day.
Oh yeah,
Yes. Yeah, we will.
they had lots of sprinkles in the ice cream van though, so we were all just eating all the like hundreds and thousands and chocolates and nuts and stuff. Yeah. Having an ice cream man is amazing. It was like so much fun, and then we invented all those fake ice creams to go on the menu. So it's one of those things that if anyone keeps their eyes peeled, they'll see like lots of really funny, violent names for all these fake ice
Nice.
creams that we put on the on the side of the ice cream van.
Nice. And so Craig, you mentioned earlier, there's a lot of action in this film. There's a bit of, fight choreography. I know obviously you kind of did some of that in Protein before, but how is it to be, a part of it this time? Because this time it's not kind of like one on one or one on a couple. This is, full on gang on gang
Yeah,
violence.
I loved it. It was brilliant. I'd worked with a lot of the fight guys before, and back in my early 20s, I did loads of fight work. I and I and for a while, I thought it might have been my main job. I got to work on some cool stuff with fight directors, so I've always enjoyed doing it. I did loads of martial arts as a kid. That was years ago. But the stunt team were just so brilliant, so patient. They came up with the most incredible routines, and the way that they taught these routines. Obviously, I'd be given half a day with these guys. Every couple of days, I'd go off and learn a new because I had to do 3 or 4 big fights, I think, didn't I, Mark, as well as the odd
Yeah,
punch and things like that. So
yeah.
I'd go off and spend this time with these guys, and they'd show me the routine. I think, oh my God, I'm not going to remember that. But the way they
It was
teach it, it
Craig. It was
just
so
goes in.
funny. So Aaron Gasser, our choreographer for Craig's fights, he was sort of like he was like, "Who's playing Beryl?" I said it was you, and he went, "Oh, right, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah." And then so he made them as complicated as possible because he knew you could do it. And I was like, "Yeah, cool, man. Put more in them." So yeah, yeah, I think he was
Yeah.
very very confident in what you could do. I realized I never told
Well,
you that.
well,
Yeah.
that's really lovely because their confidence, I sort of picked up on that, and they were just brilliant, and so it was great. And then when you watch it back, and you can see it all coming, you see it all put together. Yeah, I was really happy. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't
Yeah.
love that sort of thing? It's great. Yeah.
And I guess sort of, my final question, Fright Festers are working out their schedules, trying to figure out what they're going to see when. Why do you both hope that they take a chance on the Arbiter?
For me, I mean, I think what I've tried to do with the film is I've tried to make it just like a ride. I want it to be a thoroughly entertaining experience from start to finish, and just something that an audience can really just enjoy and come out at the end and hopefully feel they've had a really good time watching it. There are layers in there as well that I always enjoy applying to the genre stuff that I do. Um, I never assume anyone's going to pick up on it, but it makes for a weirdly personal film for a movie about a bunch of gangs all trying to find peace together. But it's more about like those guys not knowing where to belong, not knowing where they belong, and so I don't know. In my mind, I think if the audience can come away and have a really good time and then are able to sort of go, hang on, maybe there was something to say in that film, that might be like a wonderful. That would be a lovely thing to hear back from people. But yeah, I hope to entertain and not bore is my plan.
And brilliant. And I would add to that, yes, it's violently gory, and it is brutally gory. There's blood and all sorts everywhere. The noises of bones and skin being ripped and all that stuff. That's brilliant, but it's also wickedly funny. Everyone's great, and then, but most excitingly for me is the slot it's been given. It's on the opening night. It's at that really exciting slot for all those who are really keen to watch a movie like this, and I can guarantee you that they will not see another movie like this at Fright Fest this year.
Oh,
It is as he says, it's a real ride, and I look forward to seeing as many of the Fright Fest goers as possible at that screening. Yeah, it'll be great fun. Great way to kick
same
off the
here.
festival.
Indeed. Well, thank you both so much for your time and
Thank you, Kat. Thank you for having us.
Thanks,
Lovely
Kat.
to see you.
Yeah. Cheers, Kat. Thank you.